Dave Parody here with another slide makeover video podcast based on the ideas in my book, The Visual Slide Revolution. Today's slide comes from a slide that was sent to me for a recent workshop, and it's a great illustration of how too often we use text for a real-world situation instead of using something more powerful visually. Let me show you this slide. So what happens here is that they're talking about, this is an organization that customers come in for appointments, and they're talking about when you're missing an appointment, we wait 15 minutes and then we cancel it because we assume you're not coming in. Some of the challenges with this particular slide, I think the background is distracting, but let's not worry about the design. Let's just talk about the content. First thing, in the title, there's a red or I guess it's maybe a dark pink to a red word, and that's supposed to be an emphasis word. Well, red on dark gray is actually very hard to see, so the audience, when this is projected, again, remember it's going to be dulled by a projector, might completely not even notice that that word is there or may not be able to see it clearly, so the whole emphasis doesn't work. The key point is that we will cancel your appointment, but that's buried in the body text. It's not in the headline and the title, so we need to address that. And it really needs a visual, because this is just text. It doesn't engage the audience in any way. So let's take a look at some of the opportunities here in our slide. First thing is, I think it can really benefit from a headline, and this is the first step in the 5-step quick method in the book, The Visual Slide Revolution, is to create a headline that is a summary of what it is you want them to get about this particular point that you're speaking about. So first thing we need to do is create a headline. I think when we're talking about a time aspect here, where we're talking about 15 minutes, the appropriate visual is a clock, because we want to show them this is 15 minutes on a clock. Everybody understands a clock, so it makes it easier for them to really get the point that we're talking about. And we need to really focus on that 15-minute segment. So it's good to use a clock, but just using a clock with nothing else would be too confusing. So we need to focus on, here's the exact amount of time that we're going to wait. So let me show you the slide that I created for them. You know, when you make an appointment and you don't show up, we wait 15 minutes before canceling your appointment. And once the 15 minutes is done, we cancel your appointment and take the next person. So you notice what I did here. I've used a photograph of a clock because that's something common, everybody understands. And then I added a shape with some animation to show as if that 15 minutes is passing, so that people understand, okay, that's the amount of time on the clock that they will wait before they cancel my appointment. I don't really need any other text other than the headline, because it says everything that we need. That, you know, as a client, I know 15 minutes after my scheduled appointment time, they're going to cancel it, and I won't be able to have my appointment with this organization. So some of the lessons that we want to take from this makeover, and they're lessons related to creating a visual when you're talking about a real-world situation. The first lesson is use a visual that is going to be instantly recognizable because it's familiar to everyone. Again, this is part of the reason why the third step in the process is called in context. They have to be able to file it in their own mind in a file folder that they already have. They already know, oh yeah, I get that one. So in this case, it's a clock. We understand a clock. Everybody knows a clock. We're taught it in, early elementary school. So use a visual that's familiar to everybody. And too often what we'll do is we'll grab a clip art image. Clip art is outdated, and people won't think that it's a real thing because it doesn't look real. Instead, use a photograph. You could also use a professional line art illustration, but photographs are so easy to obtain that a photo is so much easier to use. And the photo that you're going to get, you're going to have to crop it so that you only are showing the part that you need. The photo that I've used is actually, when I downloaded it, it's 2 clocks side by side. But of course that would be too confusing. So I just cropped it so that I had only the 1 clock that I needed for this particular slide. And then what we did is we added a shape on top of the photo. This is a very powerful technique where you use a photo underneath to give them context that's very familiar, and then you add a shape so that you direct their attention to a particular spot on that photo, and then they know what it is the area of the photo you're trying to get them to look at. And finally, we used animation to focus their attention. So we had that blue pie shape build on to show here's the 15 minutes that we will wait before we cancel your appointment. So when you're talking about a real-world situation, use these lessons to create powerful visuals. For more information on the book, go to www.visualsliderevolution.com. For more information on my training, consulting, videos, go to my website, www.ThinkOutsideTheSlide.com. This is Dave Parody, signing off with another Slide Makeover video podcast.